Hello students, how are you? I hope you will be fine. In today's session, we will discuss about D and F block elements. Okay, so today we will see the general introduction of D block elements. So let's start. In today's session, first we will discuss about introduction of D block elements, electronic configuration of D block elements, physical properties of D block elements or transition metals. Okay, so let's start. First, introduction. What are D block elements? D block elements, it means these are the elements in which last electron enters in D orbital. Last electron is entering in D orbital. So that's why these are known as D block elements. Okay. Also, we call these D block elements as transition metal. Why transition? Because their oxidation state, it is continuously changing. Iron, we have seen the oxidation state of iron, it may be +2, it may be +3. So like that, oxidation states are different. So these D block elements are known as transition metals. Inner transition metals, these are the elements in which electron enters in F orbital. So the F block elements, these are known as inner transition metals. So remember this thing, transition metal means D block element, inner transition metal means F block element. Okay. There are three series of the transition metals. In periodic table, you have seen that first group is starting from scandium, second group is starting from yttrium, and third group is starting from lanthanum. So there are three series. These series are known as 3D series from scandium to zinc, because in this series electron enters in 3D orbital. Okay, 4D series from yttrium to cadmium, and 5D series lanthanum to mercury. So these are the three series of transition metals you can see in periodic table from group number 3 to group number 10. There are two series of inner transition metals. First, 4F series, it is called lanthanoids, and 5F series, it is called actinoids. In lanthanoids, you have seen in periodic table, at the bottom of the table, there are two different rows. First is lanthanoid, second is actinoid. Starting from cerium. Lanthanoids, it is starting from cerium to lutetium, and 5F series starting from thorium to lawrencium. So these are the series. We will talk about these series in detail. First, we will talk about the 3D series. So 3D series means, now see, 3D series, it is starting from scandium to zinc. Atomic number is 21. In 4s orbital, number of electrons are 2. In 3D orbital, number of electron is 1. So you see, this is the electronic configuration. In scandium, if you write argon, then after that 3D1 and 4s2. This is the configuration of scandium. So first is given atomic number, second is given number of electrons in 4s orbital, and third is given number of electrons in 3D orbital. So this one is 3D series, like that 4D series starting from yttrium, the name of the elements. So let me tell you the name of element: scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, ferrous, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. In 4D series, yttrium, zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, technetium, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, silver, cadmium. And in 5D series, lanthanum, hafnium, tantalum, tungsten, rhenium, osmium, iridium, platinum, gold or mercury. So these are the elements. Now see here, there is a difference. You see, after 21 22 is coming, after 39 40 is coming, but after 57 72 is coming. So from 58 to 71, these are called lanthanoids. These are called lanthanoids. Okay, you can see in periodic table. So there are three series: 3D, 4D and 5D series. This is the introductory part. Now we will see the electronic configuration. So before electronic configuration, some more terms are there. A transition elements is defined as the one which has incompletely filled d orbital in its ground state or in any of its oxidation state. Now the question is, transition element, first they will show variable oxidation state, okay, and second they must have incomplete d orbital. So now see, scandium, this one has incomplete d orbital. The configuration of scandium, this one is 3d1 and 4s2, d orbital is incomplete. From scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium and so many configurations are there. In zinc, configuration is 3d10 and 4s2. Now the question is, this zinc, can this zinc be counted as transition element? Because transition elements are defined as the one which has incomplete d orbital, and zinc has complete d orbital. So zinc is not transition element. So in 3D series, zinc is not transition element. In 4D series, cadmium is not transition element, and in 5D series, mercury is not transition element. So there are three elements which are not transition elements. These are zinc, cadmium and mercury. Why? Because they have fulfilled d orbital as well as in common oxidation state. So that's why they are not called transition element. Underline this line. This point is very, very important. Okay, this point is very, very important. Now, after this discussion, now we will see electronic configuration. The common electronic configuration is n-1 d 1 to 10 and ns 1 to 2. What is the meaning of this configuration? The meaning is, if n is equal to 4, means this one is 4s, so here d, this will be 3d, because what, n is equal to 4, so this will be n-1. So if the orbital is 4s, outermost orbital is 4s, it will be 3d. Like that, if it is 5s, it will be 4d. If it is 6s, it will be 5d. So what is the configuration? Configuration will be now 3d 1 to 10 electrons are present, and in 4s 1 to 2 electrons are present. Okay, so let's see in detail. First, the name of the element. These are scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, ferrous means iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. Atomic number is symbol of scandium is Sc. Atomic number is 21. So first write the name of the symbols. Write the symbols. These are the symbol of these elements. Atomic number 21. So the configuration will be 3d1 4s2, because according to Aufbau principle, last electron, it will enter in the orbital which has the maximum energy or the highest energy. So the last electron, it is entering in 3d1, then 22, it will 3d2, okay, so on. We are writing now the atomic numbers. Configuration will be 3d2 4s2, because d orbital is again empty. One more electron can be entered, one more electron can be entered. But here now the question is, in case of chromium, now see, from here the configuration will be 1 2 3 4 5, and this one is 4s2 and 3d3. 3d3 means 1 2 3. 3 electrons are present in 3d orbital in case of vanadium. In case of chromium, 4 electrons in 4s. In case of chromium, 4 electrons are present in d orbital and 2 electrons in s orbital. This one is fulfilled, this one is incomplete. If one electron from 4s, if it enters or if it shifts into d orbital, then this will be half filled stable, half filled stable. So we have two cases. First case where the electrons are, 2 electrons are in 4s and 4 electrons are in 3d. This one is quite unstable, this one is stable. Here we have again second condition, these two orbitals are stable. So in which condition the atom will exist? So atom will exist in stable condition. A stable condition means if both the orbitals are stable, that will be the ground state. So that's why we are writing the configuration of chromium is 3d5 and 4s1. After that, if next electron, in case of manganese, if last electron enters in 3d orbital, it will become now 3d6 incomplete, 4s half filled. And if electron enters in 4s, it will become 4s2 full filled. So which one is stable, fulfilled or half filled? So now the condition will be like this. The condition will be like this. So this is the configuration of magnesium. After that, these are the electronic configuration. So now you can see the electronic configuration depends on the stability of orbitals. Stability of orbital means the configuration will be that in which both the orbitals are stable. If one orbital is unstable, then this one is, the compound is not stable. So here we have some difference in chromium as well as in copper. So remember this thing, chromium and copper, okay, their oxidation state, it is their configuration is very different, okay, and due to the stability of orbital. After the electronic configuration, now we will see the physical properties. So in physical properties, you see atomic number, electronic configuration, and also ionic M plus, M2 plus, M3 plus. These are the ionization enthalpies. From this table, you can conclude that the ionization enthalpy, the configuration in different ions, these are the configuration of different ions, and enthalpy of atomization. So in enthalpy of atomization, what is enthalpy of atomization? Let me tell you first. What is enthalpy of atomization? Enthalpy of atomization, it means the energy required to separate the atoms from their solid state. You know, in metal, a large number of atoms are present, and these atoms are bonded with this metallic bond. These are bonded with metallic bond, okay. So in this metallic bond, we have to break this metallic bond. Means in solid state, all the atoms are present in as the ocean of atoms. So we have to isolate one atom from their group. So that energy is required that energy is known as enthalpy of atomization. Simple thing, energy required to separate one atom from its group, that is enthalpy of atomization. You can see here change: scandium 326, titanium 473, vanadium 515, chromium 397, manganese 281. So as you move scandium, titanium to vanadium, this one is increasing because of the increase in number of unpaired electrons. Remember this thing, with the increase in number of unpaired electrons, enthalpy of atomization also increases. And if the number of electrons they are decreasing, enthalpy of atomization it will also decrease. Okay, so here the enthalpy of atomization of zinc, it is very less. Why? Because you know zinc, it has complete d and s orbital, so that's why enthalpy of atomization, this one is very less for zinc. Okay, because all the electrons are paired, so no any unpaired electron is present. That's why enthalpy of atomization is least for zinc. Now see in physical properties, second table. In this second table you can see the metallic radii and ionic radii. In metallic radii, as you move left to right, atomic radii it is continuously decreasing. You can see first 164, 147, 135, this one is decreasing, this one is increased. Why? Because manganese is stable. After that again decreasing, again this one is increased because of the stability. Zinc maximum, because zinc is maximum stable. So here we can conclude that with the increase in stability, atomic radii increases. Stable element, they have atomic radii greater. Okay, so here in metallic radii, what can we conclude? We can conclude left to right atomic size decreases. Okay, but if there is some changes, so this change is due to the stability of that particular atom, stable electronic configuration. Ionization enthalpy. So you can see here ionization enthalpies, as you move left to right, ionization enthalpy, it is sometimes increasing, sometimes it is decreasing. So why this one is happening? This happens due to the stability of atom. Okay, see this one. If atom is stable, ionization enthalpy it will be very high. If atom is unstable, ionization enthalpy it will be very less, because from unstable atom it's very easy to remove electron, and from a stable atom it's very difficult to remove electron. That's why ionization enthalpy changes. Now see what is the variation. As you remove one electron, one more thing, as you remove one electron, the stability or the attraction between nucleus and outermost electrons, this one is increasing by 1. As you remove one electron, the attraction between nucleus and outermost electron, it increases by 1. Okay, because number of protons are same, but number of electrons are decreasing. So plus is greater than minus. That's why the attraction is now increasing. That's why as you remove electrons, so with the removal of electrons, the ionization enthalpy increases. So to remove one electron, it's 631, 1235. Now you can see here this one is increasing. Why it is increasing? Because of the increase in nuclear charge. Okay. Now second thing here, see, from scandium to titanium, to remove one electron, after removing one electron, which one is stable? So after removing 2 electrons, the compound will be stable. See here zinc. The electronic configuration of zinc, it is 3d10 and 4s2. If you remove these two electrons, configuration is stable. So in this particular state, the configuration will be 3d10. Now it will be very difficult to remove one electron from 3d. Why? Because 3d is most stable, full filled. So that's why the enthalpy of ionization to remove third electron from zinc, it is very difficult. Like that, you can compare some more things. From chromium, see, chromium, configuration of chromium, this one is 3d5 and 4s1. Now, if you remove one electron, okay, one electron is removed. Configuration is very stable. So that's why the energy it is suddenly increasing. And after that, to remove one more electron, it's very difficult. So as you move down in a group, to energy required to remove electron, it is increasing. That's why ionization enthalpy is also increasing. Metallic radii, so you have seen metallic radii, ionic radii, you can see in this order. Okay, so that's all for today's discussion. If you have doubt, you can contact me. Thank you.